Is noon. We are breaking into programming to bring you breaking news as we have been following reports of a train derailment in Mansfield, just outside of Storrs, southwest of the main Yukon Storrs campus. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Tim Lammers.
And I'm Symphony Privet. A shelter-in-place order is in effect right now for a half-mile radius surrounding the derailment. We have live crews around the area with the very latest developments this morning, and we are also waiting for a live press conference to begin any minute now. So we'll be sure to bring that to you as it pops up. Now, in the meantime, let's get you up to speed with what we've learned so far. Here are a couple of things you need to know. Right now, we're going to check in with Fox 61's Joe Monty. Joe, where are you at and what are you seeing right now?
Hey, we are on Stafford Road right now in Mansfield, and we're not seeing a whole lot. The scene behind me is blocked off very far from where we are standing at this point. Actually, if you want to take a look behind me, you can see that right now we have a cop car and as well looks like maybe a DOT or a state truck helping with some of the cones over there. But the road is closed between Route 275 and Route 44 as a train with hazardous materials has partially derailed into the river. The derailment happened around 9:20 this morning, and the Department of Energy and Environmental Protection says that 14 train cars have derailed, 5 of which landed in the river. The cars were carrying liquefied natural gas, LNG. It's not flammable in its liquid state, but it does become a vapor and then becomes highly flammable. The town of Mansfield is asking all residents within a half a mile of this area to shelter in place for the time being. Again, the area is closed, and if you're traveling in this area, you're definitely going to need to take an alternate route. We have no word on when this mess will be cleaned up and when the road will be reopened, but we do know that there will be a press conference, as you mentioned earlier, at noon, and we're going to take you live there. But for now in Mansfield, Joe Monty, Fox 61.
All right, Joe, thank you. We'll check back in with you in just a moment. Now, if you're just tuning in and you're learning about this incident, here's what we know so far. First up, as Joe was just saying, if you live in a half-mile radius of that area, you should shelter in place. There were previous reports about a possible evacuation, but that is not happening. They are just asking residents to shelter in place. The town of Mansfield is issuing that advice. So officials say that no one is hurt at the scene, so that's a bit of good news here. And DEEP says 14 train cars went off the track. At least 5 of them landed in the Willimantic River. Now, just minutes ago, we got another update from the town of Mansfield, and we've learned a little bit more about how this scene is unfolding. We do know first responders and hazmat specialists are at the site right now evaluating that situation. They say the train car was carrying propane, lumber, grain, and grease. So that's a lot that those teams out there will have to evaluate this morning and figure out how to safely clean it up. The town of Mansfield says that there were concerns about potential material contamination, but that has not been confirmed at this point. So right now, we do want to make sure we reiterate no evacuation orders in place, but folks who live in a half-mile radius are expected to shelter in place at this time.
Yes. Now, we want to give you a sort of a wider view of what's going on. And once again, let's just re-emphasize 2 points. First of all, nobody is hurt. Second of all, none of this hazardous material has spilled. As Joe Monty was saying, if there is a spill, that's where we could see a problem, because that natural gas, the liquefied gas, can vaporize, and that's when it becomes very flammable. That's not the case yet. So at this point, this is just looking like this is going to be a traffic inconvenience, and it may be for several days. So I want to show you where we were. Joe Monty was down here right at the intersection of Route 32 and South Eagleville Road, and it's closed all the way up to the intersection with Route 44. The spill, at least as we first heard it, was roughly in the 1000 block of Stafford Road, Route 32, so that would be right around here, and this white line is the train line where the train did derail. This is the water right there. That's probably going to be closed for a while.